You missed the title of today's conversation. We're talking about why keeping your word to yourself changes everything. Everything. Keeping your word. That will help you stay locked in on what matters. It will help you build consistency. It will help you build progress and momentum towards your goals. How many of us have ever said, like, you wanted to accomplish something, you wanted to do something, you know you should be doing it, you know you can do it, you know it will help build momentum towards where you want to be in life, but you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Like, you know good and darn well this is something that you need to be doing, but you told yourself, I'll get to it later. What if the difference between feeling stuck in life and actually making progress was simply doing what you told yourself you were going to do, regardless of the mood that you found yourself in at the time that you said it, right? How many of us have ever made a promise to ourselves? Like, there was something that you wanted to accomplish, something that you wanted to become, something that you wanted to experience or build in your life. And you know you needed to take action on it, but you neglected to follow through. What if, for instance, family, the key to really building confidence and growth in our lives wasn't necessarily just being motivated all the time, but it was really you just sticking to what you said you were going to do in spite of how you felt in the moment. In fact, studies have proven, like research studies have really proven that individuals that follow through on their commitments, regardless of the size, whether it's big or small, they actually build self-trust and confidence because they own what they say and they do what they say they're going to do. Today, I want to talk about how showing up consistently, regardless of your mood, in spite of your circumstances or the conditions that you find yourself in, if we can show up consistently, we can transform our lives and the way that we lead ourselves and even others. I want to take time for us to really explore how your word is more powerful than motivation. How you don't have to allow your feelings or your mood to dictate your decisions in any given moment. In fact, we want to stop negotiating with our feelings and, in essence, get in alignment with what we're aiming to experience. And I want to break down practical steps that you can start taking right now to strengthen your self-trust and your confidence. What I'm really getting at is this, family. I want to explore how owning your word can transform your identity and your results. To begin the conversation, family, if you would comment below, keep your word. Keep your word. And I get it. I see there's a bit of a delay today with the comments. I think we're like 20 seconds off from the time I say something and the time you receive it on your end, so bear with me. Henry, I see you in the building. Salute to you, brother. Hope all is well with you. But again, comment below. Keep your word. Last week, family, I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman at the gym. Now, this brother, man, he's an OG, y'all. He's an OG, but the dude is putting in work, y'all. Like he's in shape. He's fit. So I was curious. I approached him. I said, man, sir, like, what are you training for? Why are you here? And his response really stuck with me. Even to this moment now, it really has me thinking. His response was simply, he said, I'm not here because I enjoy waking up early in the morning. He said, I'm not here because I'm always motivated. He said, I'm here because I wanted to prove to myself that my word mattered. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, I used to get drunk every night. I wasn't necessarily making the healthiest decisions. I was depressed. I felt as if I was unhealthy. And he said, I looked myself in the mirror and I told myself, I got to own my life. I got to reclaim my health. And I got to do something different. He said, I got to make a positive change in my life. So he said, at first, it wasn't even about the workout. It was about me staying true to the word that I told myself the night before. And day by day, decision after decision, workout after workout, all he was doing, y'all, was just proving to himself that his word mattered, right? And what began to happen was the more and more he showed up, he built inner trust and inner confidence in his capabilities, and he got better at training within the gym. And then a byproduct of that was he became physically fit. His physique began to change. He changed his diet, right? He changed the way that he lived his life, all because he stayed committed to the word that he told himself. He was proving his word right. Like, if I said I'm going to do it, I mean what I'm saying, and I'm going to do what I tell myself I'm going to do. This is the mindset that he had. And ultimately, as I thought about that, family, I began to realize that ultimately what's at play here is when we keep our word to ourselves, every time we do what we say we're going to do, you're casting a vote, right? Casting a vote as to the kind of person you believe yourself to be. I think that's worth repeating. I'll say that again for the people in the back in case we missed it. Every time you stay true to your word, every time you stay consistent and you do the very thing you told yourself you're going to do, you are casting a vote to be the person that you told yourself you're going to be, the person you believe yourself to be. In essence, you're identifying as the type of person that can create the life that you envision. And that's what it starts with, right? That's what it boils down to. Everybody comment below. It starts with identity. It starts with identity. Think about like an ambitious athlete, an elite athlete that's training for a competition. Think about a runner. Every runner doesn't necessarily enjoy waking up before sunrise. They may not feel 100% physically. Their body may be aching, right? But they show up day in and day out, and they lace up and they put in the work simply because they've told themselves, I'm a runner. I'm the type of person that follows through on what I say I'm going to do. Think about an entrepreneur that's building an idea, that's building a vision, right? Not everybody feels like making those sales calls or creating content for social media or sticking with the plan when it seems as if the results are slow or gratification is being delayed. But because this entrepreneur has made up their mind, this is who I identify myself to be. I'm the type of person that sticks with the process to build my vision that ultimately will give them access to greater outcomes and greater results. Family, think about it from this perspective. That loyal friend that you have, right? That always shows up when you need them the most. At times, they may not feel like traveling across town to come help you move. They may feel tired and exhausted when they're sitting with you on the phone to help talk you through your challenges. But because they told you, I'll be there, I'm in your corner, I'm here for you, they meant that, right? And it's through them holding their word and standing on their word, standing on business in essence, right? That you now have trust in this person and you believe I can count on them. They got me. Like they're in my corner. If I need something, they're going to be there for me. It's them standing on that word that built that trust and that confidence. Think about a parent. Think about a mother that's raising children. At times, she may not feel like doing what's required of her as a mother. She may not feel like handling all the educational and academic things that are required as your kids are going through school, right? She may not feel like, cooking and, handling the business in the household, right, after a long day at work. But she continues to show up regardless of how she feels, regardless of her mood. She continues to do what she's supposed to do, ultimately because that's who she is. In essence, she's identified with the role, and that identity comes with a different level of responsibility. Yeah, that'll teach right there, family. Like the identity that you're aiming to step into carries a certain responsibility. So to be effective at becoming the person that you're identifying as, you have to own the responsibilities. Most people want to identify as something, but they don't want to carry the responsibilities to become it. We don't have time to break that down during today's conversation, but just put a bookmark there, right? In essence, to identify as something, you have to own the responsibilities that come with it. Most people want the glory without the story. They want the crown without the cross, right? But in essence, if we are serious about creating positive changes in our life, you've got to own the identity. And a part of you owning the identity means I got to own the responsibilities that come with it. What I'm really getting at is this, family. That same identity shift, that when individuals make up their mind, I'm going to become an elite athlete. I'm going to become a successful entrepreneur. I'm going to become a loyal friend. I'm going to hold on to my responsibilities and do them well. And they create certain outcomes and certain results. That's a person keeping their word. And they're saying, I'm identifying as this. And because my mind is wired in a way where my behavior will always be consistent with my identity, once I identify with it, my behavior will follow suit. D1, what are you really saying? What I'm saying is this. There's a powerful shift that happens the moment that you decide that your word matters. Like maybe somebody that's tuning into this broadcast, historically, you've told yourself that you're going to do certain things, but you didn't follow through. Maybe historically you said you were going to show up on a consistent basis. You took the initial steps, but when times became hard and things became difficult, you stopped being consistent. Let today be the day that you make the executive decision that your word matters. Prove to yourself that your word matters. I'm talking about make a public service announcement, not just with your words, but with your actions. That what you say you're going to do, who you say you're going to become, what you're saying you're going to create, you saying that your word matters. So you're going to be consistent and do whatever is necessary to build it, to create it, to manifest it in your life. Here's this week's call to action. Identify what you're aiming to accomplish. What's one thing that you're aiming to build? One goal that you're aiming to achieve. Then ask yourself, who do I need to become in order for me to create that outcome, to create that result? And stick with it. Stay true to your word. Prove to yourself that your word matters. Maybe you have a self-care promise that you're making to yourself. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm going to walk 20 minutes every single day. I'm going to drink, a gallon of water every single day. I'm going to prioritize my sleep hygiene, and I'm going to get 7 to 8 hours every single day. That means you're going to have to make some sacrifices. That means you may have to go to bed a little earlier. That means you're going to have to dedicate yourself to hitting the pavement, hitting the concrete in your neighborhood, to walk for 20 minutes every single day because you're proving to yourself that your word matters. Maybe it's a productivity goal, a productivity promise that you've made to yourself, where you've told yourself, I'm not going to be distracted this week. I'm going to be locked in on my goals. I'm going to improve my skill set. I'm going to master a certain craft. That means you're going to have to sacrifice other things. Maybe historically, you've fallen into the pattern of scrolling through social media, right? Being entertained, laughing at certain things, or diving into forums and chats in the comment section. You're going to have to exercise some more discipline as you're approaching this week's opportunities to stay locked in on what's important and what matters to you. Take that time that you're spending on social media to work on your craft, to develop your skills, to open up a book, to read 10 pages per day because you're telling yourself, my word matters. Whatever your goal is, whatever your objective is, identify with what it is that you're aiming to accomplish. And hold true in your heart that your word matters. We've said a lot during today's broadcast. I'll end by saying this. Small actions build big self-belief. Taking a stand that is independent of how you feel in the moment. It's not about your feelings. It's more about who you're identifying yourself to be. So again, let's make a public service announcement, not just with our words, but with our actions. And let's declare with our actions that I'm the type of person that does what I'm saying I'm going to do. Every step that you take, every decision that you make, every choice that you choose, let that be declared. I'm the type of person that does what I'm saying I'm going to do. I'm going to finish what I start. If I begin it, I'm going to take it all the way to the end. I'm committed for the long haul. For many of us, it's not a lack of skills, lack of abilities, lack of knowledge, lack of experience, lack of intelligence that's holding us back. It's the follow through, the ability to maintain discipline, the ability to consistently identify with what you're aiming to experience. And I get it. Again, life be life, and the struggle can get real. And at times we can allow our emotions to get the best of us. But remember, it's not about how you feel. It's more about who you decide to be in any given moment. It's a matter of you responding in the way that the person that you identify yourself to be would respond when you're face to face with adversity. That teaches well. Learning how to identify as the person that you're aiming to become, thinking like that person, believing like that person, knowing you're that person, operating like that person, responding to challenges and circumstances like that person instead of reacting to your feelings. It's a matter of us maintaining mental and physical discipline to stay locked in on what we desire to build the life that we envision. If you don't get anything else out of what we've talked about, let today be the day, family, that you prove to yourself that your word matters. If you slid into this broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, be sure to comment below. And if in fact this is your first time or maybe your first time in a long time, I welcome you and I want to shout you out as well. Put a number 1 in the chat and then place your first name afterward. If you're new to this stream, again, place a number 1 in the chat and then your first name afterward. I'll be sure to shout you out before we do wrap things up. I'm hoping that somebody somewhere found some value in this conversation. If in fact you benefited from today's discussion, put some fist up in the comments below to let your boy know you are picking up what I was putting down during today's stream. Shalia says, I must show up consistently and keep my word. That's how you build self-trust and confidence. And you move differently when you believe in the power that's at work within you. Henry says, this is definitely an area in my life that I can improve on. All of us, we're all there in some cases. We can all improve in us staying committed, so to speak, to what we're aiming to accomplish in life. Again, if you found value, put some fist up. Henry, I appreciate you, brother. For those that are sharing, for those that are putting fist up in the comments below, be sure to share this out with those that you do personally care about. Because if you found value in it, somebody that you're connected to can also benefit from this discussion. So share the inspiration with those that you are connected to. We truly appreciate that. Also, if we have yet to connect on other social platforms, what are we waiting for? Go ahead and connect with your boy. I'm at D1 Gibson on platforms including Instagram as well as Facebook. I'm also on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/David Gibson and be sure to subscribe to the channel there. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn. If you're on that platform, just simply search David Gibson. Also, for those that are interested in contributing and donating to our mission monetarily, you can connect with me on Cash App. That's $D1 Gibson. Again, $D1 Gibson. And for those interested in my coaching and speaking services, be sure to check out the website at elevationisAmust.com. And while you're there, check out the online store for resources and different tools that you could begin to purchase and download, some for the free 99, but ultimately all of them are designed to help you master your mindset, adopt successful practices, and become the greatest version of you. With that being said, before we do conclude and wrap things up, how many of us can honestly say in the area of clarity, confidence, and consistency, you're aiming to improve in those particular areas, right? Maybe you're unclear on what direction you want to take your life, the passions that you have, the things that you're aiming to accomplish. Maybe you're not clear on your values and the vision that you want to manifest and build. Maybe you're lacking the confidence, right? Maybe you're struggling with self-doubt, insecurities. Maybe fear has hijacked your mind to the point that you've been procrastinating and putting things off and neglecting to take those steps towards your goals and your vision. Or maybe it's consistency. As we talked about today, maybe it's been difficult for you to show up on a consistent basis, to execute towards your goals and maintain discipline and build momentum towards the success that you envision. It's not to say that you're not good enough. It's not to say that you don't have what it takes. It's not to say that you don't have the fuel or the drive. But what's often needed is really placing yourself in a community that's going to give you the tools and, most importantly, the support that will assist you in building that momentum that you're aiming to experience in your life. I say all that to say this. Last week, we launched our Growth Circle community, where we're going to be talking about how to build confidence, how to establish clarity, how to stay consistent and follow through. If you're a small business owner, if you are a content creator, or if you're an ambitious leader, whether you're working in a nonprofit space, climbing the corporate ladder, or just aiming to become a better version of you, you belong here. You belong here. You want to surround yourself with people that get it. How many of us have ever had conversations with friends or peers, and we're talking about our challenges as we're working towards our goals, and it's going through one ear and out the other? Like, there's no relevance there. They can't relate to what you're experiencing, the challenges that you're facing. You want to be in a space where people get it. They understand where you're at because they're in the trenches with you. And these are the type of individuals that aren't just saying good luck. These are the ones that are saying, don't you give up. They're believing in you, encouraging you, helping you, in some cases carrying you to get to where you're aiming to go. I say all that to say this. Be sure to tap in, family. Connect with us in the Growth Circle. For more information, go to join. That's www.joingrowthcircle.com. Again, www.joingrowthcircle.com. Or just simply type in the comments below, I'm interested. I'll send you some information directly to you. So either way it goes, go to www.joingrowthcircle.com or simply type in the comments below, I'm interested, and I will send some information directly to you. If you're watching on YouTube, they don't have a DM feature. So what you can do is just shoot me an email or type your email in the comments if you feel comfortable doing that, and I'll shoot you some information directly. But on any other platform, I can connect with you either on Facebook, LinkedIn, X. I know how to get in contact with you on X. I may not be able to see your comments in the chat, but just connect with your boy. But again, come elevate with us. Join if you are serious about growth and really becoming the best version of yourself. There's a lot of tools that we provide you with. There's going to be mastermind sessions, mindset sessions, expert interviews, talking about business development, content creation, how to monetize your content, as well as personal growth, mindfulness, visualization, meditation, all the great things that will help you stay focused and empowered as you're taking steps towards the vision that you have for your life. So again, www.growthcircle.com. With all of that being said, family, let's wrap this thing up. You got dreams to catch and success to create. So we got to get busy being great. Let's take advantage of this week's opportunities. Again, be about that follow through. Stay true to your word. Prove to yourself that your word matters. And as you're taking steps and moving closer towards the life that you envision, if you find yourself in a difficult situation or a challenging experience, just remember that this too shall pass. Let's say that again. Maybe somebody needs to hear that. In fact, maybe somebody needs to feel that. This too shall pass. So don't make a permanent decision that's based upon a temporary circumstance. I know it's difficult. I know it's tough. I know your back is up against the wall, but keep pressing, keep pushing, keep going. Somebody's counting on you to show up. So you can't give up now. I need you to remind yourself on why you got started in the first place. And as you keep persisting, eventually you will succeed. It may not all happen in one day, but if you keep taking steps, one day it will happen. You just got to keep going. Keep taking steps. Keep building. Keep knocking. Keep pushing. Keep pressing. Eventually you will arrive. And if nobody else tells you that they love you today, remember, your brother from another mother, D1 Gibson, has nothing but love for each and every single one of you. With all of that being said, family, thank you from the depths of my heart for tuning in to today's broadcast. Again, I'm hoping that you found some value. Let's apply what we discussed, identify what you're aiming to accomplish, identify with it, with your mindset, with your identity, and then follow through. Follow through. Prove to yourself that your word matters. Let me know what you're up to. Shoot me a DM and say, D1, this is what I'm working towards. This is what I'm building. I would love to hear that. With all of that being said, family, we'll be back at it next Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In fact, I'm not for sure. Next Monday's Labor Day. Is that Labor Day? We may not be live. I'll let you know, guys. I'll let you know. If it's the holiday, we may come in for a short broadcast, but we'll see. But just stay tapped in. Stay tapped in. Nonetheless, the inspiration will be provided. We'll be there in some shape, form, or fashion. But until then, in the meantime, I want you to be effective, be successful, live with some passion, and most importantly, family, be powerful. I'm your brother, David Gibson, a.k.a. D1 Gibson. Have a phenomenal Monday and an extraordinary week. Peace.